Under Our Skin is a human rights film festival. And the idea is this is like a space, you'd call it a space or an opportunity that brings people together. We're looking at, regardless of being different people, we're all the same people. We face the same problems, the same challenges. And so we're putting this into a film festival where we'll bring people, anyone can participate, filmmakers, human rights activists, one who is doing like great work in this space. We have a couple of themes that we are working on. And I'll just mention them in briefly. There's expression as a right, and we're looking at, as people in the communities, that the people or groups that are suppressed and not able to express themselves. For example, if you look at LGBT spaces, we look at informal settlements, where we're going to have one of our team members talk about the real life experience on the ground. Even looking at women, we know gender is a big factor when it comes to human rights. Scale of economies, where we see some groups tend to be underrepresented compared to others. So all these different dimensions come in together to fit into that theme. And then we also have a theme that we're calling social contract redefined. And here we are looking at things like what's happening. We've seen informal settlements, police brutality is a big thing that's happening or has been happening. Also in relation to COVID as well. We've seen with COVID happening, a lot of injustice has been sort of like blowed up, and we're seeing the effects and all that. There's a lot of tension between economies and power struggle. So that's a theme we're also going to explore. Then our third theme is injustice by design. And here we're looking at things like climate change. How do you relate climate change, with human rights? We're experiencing weather fluctuations right now. We're seeing, climate refugees as well and things like that. So all those are things that we're looking at and seeing people know that, we have a right to good weather and things like that. Something else that I can mention about this film festival, so it's a big factor of it is education. So we really want to educate people so people are aware of what are human rights, what do we mean, what kind of people need to know about their human rights and all that. And so we're using film as a tool for education. So we're going to have filmmakers who are sort of like just going to come in and share the films they've created or stories they've wanted to tell. And we want to give a platform to new filmmakers or existent filmmakers. And that's within East Africa, Kenya, of course, East Africa, as well as other international films. So, just bringing, as we said, it's all about diversity. So we just want to bring all those elements together, and then we hope we can get to share this with people.
We find that we have a lot of challenges as we face, like state violation, like EJ kind of extrajudicial execution up in our community. We have ecological injustices that we face in our community, gender-based violence. We have all kind of state violation towards the people living in informal settlement. How do we come up to tell the community this thing that we're facing is not possible, is not right for the people living in informal settlement? We're using a soft power as human rights defenders. One, we have Art for Social Justice. We talk on issue affecting our side through music, through film activity, through community dialogues. We have Mathare Social Justice, community theaters. The people living in informal settlement in Mathare, they're really facing a lot of challenges like of that of ecological injustice. We have water rationing. Even during this time of COVID-19, we've really faced a lot of challenges accessing this water. We're being said, like, you have to wash your hands, you have to sanitize, you have to stay inside the house. But in our area, in the houses, like we live, it doesn't allow you to have the social distancing.
One of the things that Under Our Skin is going to try and do is inspire a new generation of filmmakers to make new material and new films that will explore some of these issues that affects their lives.
Inspired me most to do our films is I realized we have so many of our original stories that can only be told in our own way, in our authentic language. Why I did Bangarang specifically, 95% of the stories in that movie are things that happened in Kisumu.
What we can do is maybe just go through then how people can actually submit their films to the festival. So we've seen a really good example from Robbie of the kind of film that we are looking for. Obviously, Bangarang is a feature movie. We're also looking for short films. We're also looking for a variety of different formats. So it might be something social realist like that. It might be animation. It might be more expressionistic. It might be more music-based or performance-based. We're looking for a whole range of different material to show.
Not just doing a film festival, we're also thinking of how do we empower the people actually telling the stories. So we're definitely thinking of what good rewards or awards would be in the short term, but beyond that, in the long term, we are also looking at the future. What do we want to achieve? What spaces are we creating for filmmakers like you? Like, what's the vision in 2 to 3 years? Where do we want to see filmmakers, and what kind of stories will you be telling? So definitely, we're also thinking of helping to tell these stories better, whether it's in form of like community empowerment, as Stoneface had mentioned, where we want communities to really own this as well, whether it's creating partnerships with the right organizations, the right networks, and just seeing how can you even feel protected as you're telling this kind of stories. And we also intend that this is not going to be a one-off festival. This is something we intend to do over and over again. So this is our first edition. So this will be like a learning opportunity, and then we'll iterate and improve our next edition like that. So 3-4 years down from now, we'll have something different because it's something we're building and learning as we go, and just improving. Keep creating and submit whatever you have. We're not really here to look at the screen quality HD. We're more interested in the stories. We are open to receive whatever you have, send it as it is, and then we will look from there. So I think the more we get to know about you and your work, the better, because then we know you exist and we know you're trying and you're doing something. So just submit, as simple as it is.
Thank you, everyone.
Nimekuwa na miscarriages 4. Huu wa 5 ndio Mungu ametuachia.
Nataka Joy anyonye mpaka afike form 1.
I want to condemn the brutal killing of our people.
Mimi sina shida na nani amekuwa rais. Shida yangu kubwa ni watu innocent watazidi kufa mpaka lini?